Yes, we're on. Hello, teachers. Hello, everybody. Hello, teachers here on Instagram and YouTube. Oh my God, she's everywhere. Hello, everyone. Hey, teachers. Hello, Martina, Teresa. Hi, Ariel. How are you doing? Hi, Tassiana, Fê, Andrea. Nice to see everyone here. That's awesome. Hey, Alec. Hi, Jack. Hi, Elina. Hello. Wow. Hey, teachers. Did you know that this is Teacher Appreciation Week? I learned that yesterday. Actually, I was like, oh my, that's true. And then I'm like, okay, so let's talk about it. It's not something that was right there in my mind, you know? Did you know about it? Are you talking about it? Are you being appreciated? How's everyone doing? It's great to see everyone here. We're live and on YouTube at the same time. Okay. Oh my God. Let me see. There's so many new names. Hello, everyone. Hello, Letícia. Hi, Adri, Geisa, Rafaela. Tati, hello. Luane, Angélica, Ana Clara. Awesome. All right. Hello, Katia. Nice to see many familiar names, and welcome everyone who's seeing us here for the first time. For the newcomers to our profile, welcome, teachers. This is the place where we talk about teaching, learning, business, personal and professional growth for English teachers. Sometimes we welcome other people too. Joking. Well, if you understand English, then it's good for anyone who understands English. And sometimes we do have lives and videos and posts that are in Portuguese as well, right? I am from Brazil, so I speak Portuguese. Portuguese is my native language, my mother tongue. And most teachers who are here are still Brazilian. The majority is Brazilian, but we do have teachers from other countries as well. We do have teachers from now 15 different countries. You know that? Right? We were checking the teachers and where they're from. We have teachers from 15 different nationalities. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness, that's awesome. You're from Belém. Let me know where you're from here on Instagram and also on YouTube. I know some people, I know some names that are here, but let me know. Let me see where our tribe is going, how big we're becoming. And very soon we're going to have more people from other countries. Yes, Adri, from 15 different countries. And not just following the profile, but taking our courses, taking BTE, Pro, Upgrade, Show Up, right? See, Argentina. Hello, Fê. Fernanda is watching too. Três Lagoas, Mato Grosso do Sul. Campina Grande, na Paraíba. Brusque. Oh, I know your city, Adri. Brusque, Santa Catarina. Rio de Janeiro. Elina, when you make your videos in Rio, oh my goodness, I love it so much. Paraíba, I love Paraíba. It's so nice. Nuara is also from Paraíba. We have many teachers from the Northeast. Cascavel, Paraná, from São Paulo, Porto Belo. Letícia is another teacher that posts pictures and videos about the beach. And it's like, wow. Well, I love it. I'm from Curitiba. If you're getting here today, I am living in Curitiba now. I'm not from Curitiba. I was actually born in Santo André, in São Paulo, and then I moved to Londrina as a baby. And that is where I started to study. And since our topic today is our memories from when we were students, right? Paranavaí, Uberaba, São Paulo, Florianópolis. Tati, my favorite city. My favorite city in this country here. Wow, Taubaté, Iturama, Triângulo Mineiro. Hello, Glauciene, Thalita. Nice. So, and that's the beautiful thing about working online, right? Then you have teachers, clients, students from everywhere. It's not just from Curitiba. Can you imagine if this thing didn't exist? I would only work with teachers from Curitiba. That would be it, right? Guarulhos, São Caetano do Sul, Campinas. Cool. I've lived in, I studied in Santa Catarina. I studied in Florianópolis. That's where I took my MA, my master's. And then I studied here in Joinville. Did I do anything in Joinville? Was I a student in Joinville? I can't, probably like short courses, but I didn't take any big course there. I was an English student there because I was working as an English teacher too. Tucuruí. Cool. Hi, Celso. Hi, Krosmar. Hi, Carla. Right. So our the idea for this live today, and also from this last post I posted, is what is your favorite, your best memory as a student? So let's go back in time, okay? And let's share, and please share here in the comments, both here on YouTube for the ones who are watching on YouTube and here on Instagram as well. What are the memories you have as a student? What are the best ones you have? What are the favorite ones you have? What are those moments that you bring with you, that you carry with you from the time when you were a student, but not just as a child, maybe from college or high school, or an undergrad, or a graduate course? Born in São Paulo, raised in Vitória, graduated in PUC São Paulo. Now I live in Rio de Janeiro. Oh my goodness, Carla. All over, right? Let me know. And I was trying to think about it since this is the Teacher Appreciation Week. Today, the idea is to talk about our memories from when we were not teachers, but we were students, and how these things probably had an impact in the way we work nowadays, even for the choices we made. Why did you choose to be a teacher? Right? What were the influencers in your life? Right? What were the influencers in your life? And I remember I have many memories, good and bad, right? But even the when you think of memories that may be not so positive, right? You always have to try and get some learning, right? Learn something from that experience. So even if you have memories that are not so beautiful and colorful, it's not just rainbows and unicorns. Do you remember something that was very important for you as a student that you see happening in your career nowadays as a teacher? So start thinking about it and let me know here. All right. I remembered something from, I think I was on 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and maybe even high school. And my Portuguese and literature teacher, Maria de Lourdes Paiva Siman, she was very, very inspiring. And I remember it was my favorite class at school. Portuguese, grammar, literature these were my favorite classes, right? I liked other classes too, but these were the ones that I would really, be paying close attention to everything Maria de Lourdes was saying. And the thing about it is I've always liked reading, and she wouldn't just teach literature like, oh, this is the movement, this is how it was, and blah blah blah. She would tell the stories from the authors, the stories, how they lived, and how things were when they were alive, and how their lives were, and if they had kids or not, if they were known when they were alive or not. So all of these things were so interesting that I really that these stories always made us want to learn more about José de Alencar, Machado de Assis, and all the writers that she had to teach us. So that was I'm pretty sure that she was one of the reasons why I decided to take languages. For Portuguese, even though English is my thing, I chose to take languages, to study languages because of her. She was a big influence in my life. Let me see what you're writing here. Let me know your influences from school. My first English teacher when I was 7 made me want to become an English teacher. Look at that. So when you were 7, somebody already inspired you, right? She was amazing, super happy. I remember not understanding verb to be in high school. Can you imagine that you didn't know that in high school and now you're a teacher? You're teaching something you didn't know. That's awesome. So many teachers, when they start telling me their stories, they're like, well, I never liked English. I didn't used to like English when I was at school. Like, how did you become a teacher of something you didn't used to like? Because I always loved English. So for me, it was something very interesting to hear from teachers. The best memories I have as a student are the first song I learned, Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins. Adriano, I also learned that one. Did you learn that song from the book English File? Because I remember the book had the lyrics, and it was one of the classes, one of the pages had that song. Let me know if that was the way you learned that too. And the first movie I watched with subtitles in English, The Bone Collector. Look, you remember the first ones. Can you see, guys, the importance that these things have in students' lives? We're now English teachers. We now have our own businesses. We're all influencing and inspiring other students. And because someone back there, just inspired us to listen to a song, to watch a movie, or with their happiness, with their cheerfulness in class. Can you see this bridge? Let me see. I always remember a teacher, an FC trainer when I was a teenager. She created a happy atmosphere and laughed with us. I learned a lot. Look at that, guys, what Romina is sharing here. She had fun preparing for the FCE, and so many students and even teachers, when you think about taking exams like, oh, I'm going to take the CAE, the CPE, a TOEFL, a TOEIC, or the IELTS, it's like, oh, it's going to be so hard. And Romina's just sharing one of her best memories of this prep course for FCE. Something that could be tough, that could be boring, that could be dull. And she had a great time. I wonder who made it nice. Who was the spice there, you know? Let me see what else you're sharing here. Story of my life. Leticia saying that, right? My friends saw me as a translator. Wow, Lucas. So you see, when you're a kid or a teenager, you were already the reference of English. I remember, Lucas, and look how horrible it is. Now I'm a teacher, right? When I was at school, I would already know English. So I was in the, I don't know, seventh, eighth grade, first year of high school, second year of high school. And I was the only one in my little group of friends in our panelinha that knew English. And we were about 6 girls. We're friends till nowadays. Um, and I was the only one who knew English. I was the only one who studied English, right? In an English school. And the English at school was, not that good. So when we had English tests, I would do my test, and then somehow, poor teachers, I would exchange a test. I would do the test with a pencil and then exchange a test with a friend, and I would do all of our English tests. Cola, cheating. Yes, that's me. That's me. I need to go back and apologize. So all of my friends, they passed. They got high grades, high scores for their English test because I was the one that took the test for them. Can you believe that? And we make so much fun of that, right? Whenever we meet, and this group of friends, we usually travel together when we could, right? To the beach, we get together when I go back to Londrina. And then they're like, do you remember that you would do all of our tests, our English tests? So I would finish the test very quickly and do like 5 tests. Can you imagine, guys? Oh my goodness. So you were the translator, I was the test taker. That's so wrong, isn't it? The first English teacher I had was when I was in 6th grade. My teacher was amazing. By the way, I had amazing English teachers. I'm lucky. Look how the memory Glauciani is sharing with us here. Like, I'm lucky, meaning not all teachers and not just English teachers are great. And it's not because of how much they know, it's more than that. Tell me if you agree with that. It's not just about the subject, it's about who the teachers really are, right? Roxette songs, yeah, Tatiush. It must have been love, but it's over now. My mom, Alexandro, my mom used to buy me some CDs and books, and I remember I used to try and say actors' names when the movies were getting started. Oh, that is awesome, Alexandro. See, so you were learning, you were a student, but this part you were not doing in class. Was it part of your homework assignment? Mm-mm. Your mom would buy CDs for you, okay, CDs and books, and then you would do something else outside of class, outside of the activities that teachers asked you to do. And what is it called? It's called a genuine motivation. You really wanted to do it, so it was probably not the teacher who guided you to do it. Oh my God. Or even maybe the teacher said, maybe you can do it. It was a tip, but you see that the memories in our development with the language did not happen just in class. There are things that we did outside, given the technology we had at the time, right, Alexandra? Things that we did outside of class that made us learn the language. Fernanda saying, I passed chemistry at school because my best friend did the same for me, Cami. Fernanda, and something else is, and talking about the way teachers are, and not just about the topic, I was always very good at English and history and Portuguese and geography, art not so much, math not so much, physics not so much, biology, I was very good at science and biology, and also chemistry. But chemistry, because I had an amazing teacher, Tiago, and he was very young. He was like 23. I think he had just finished, his college. He had just gotten his diploma, and he was awesome. I remember I aced chemistry when I took vestibular, and I took vestibular for letras, for languages. So chemistry was nothing, but I really learned chemistry because of him, because of his classes, because of who he was. Right? I was never in love with chemistry, but because of the teacher, then I learned chemistry very well. Same thing with biology. I had a teacher, Lucy Koga, and I remember their names. Her classes were awesome. She would draw, she would explain things. We would have a book, right? But she would explain everything that we were learning in biology. She would translate things to our real life. She would say, when you take a shower, when you do this. So she would always bring the knowledge to our lives, George is saying some of my best memories from the time I studied at an English school are all the teens at the time gathering to watch the music videos on MTV. Look at that, Georgia. So nowadays, if you want to watch a movie, like a music video, you just open your cell phone or the computer. It's right there with lyrics, without lyrics. But 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it wasn't that common, right? There was MTV. There was the beginning of the internet at home in the 90s, right? Late 90s. So we had to do something else. Okay, and it was not just what we did in class with our teachers. Pachi is saying, I had a private teacher that was brilliant, not only as a teacher, but as a person. That is the key, Pachi. This is where I want to get. She used to rescue pets and take care of her elderly mother. My life today is very similar. Look at that. This teacher that Pachi had influenced not just her professional life, but also the way she deals with the world. Rescuing pets. I saw you have many dogs, right, Pachi? And taking care of your grandmother. So, teachers, do you believe you're only English teachers? Do you believe that the methodologies and the techniques you bring to class are all you have to share with your students? Listen to what you guys are saying about your best memories as students. Read these things. Israel saying, I remember the first rule I learned was how to play with sports, games, and toys. I was so happy and grateful for my teacher. So Israel remembers the first, rules and things he really learned and the things that were meaningful. Probably Israel really liked playing sports games and with toys, like most kids. But what was the part of the class that really printed something in his soul, in his essence? Wow, I learned English that I can use in my real life. Not just that sentence, that structure, that whatever that was in the book, but something that you could bring to your life, something you could use that made sense to you, right? And I was saying there was this history teacher in high school who at the time was the only one who told me I was okay to be myself. Look at this person, this history teacher, awesome. I'll never forget him. He inspired me to eventually choose to work with my niche. So think back when you were studying history in high school, right? At least what, like 10, 12 years ago? I know how old Ariel is. That teacher was already talking to you about being yourself, about trusting your essence, about where your goal is. Because if you try to be somebody else, if you try to okay, everybody, my friends are all engineers, my friends are all doctors or dentists or architects or whatever, right? Oh, this is what people should do. And then you forget about yourself. And then deep inside, you know that you love being a teacher. You know you love teaching. You know you love English. But then you keep it, you don't share it with anyone else because of all of those beliefs that people have. But then you have a teacher like that that says, you know what? You have to do what you're good at. You have to follow your own talents. You have to find that spark inside of you. That's how we remember of our teachers, right? I hope you're making the connections that I want you to make nowadays, guys. I mean, now. Yeah, I was the reference. I did it. Let me see. Hi, Lais. I also had a literature teacher in high school. His name was Bartolomeu Bartô. He used to perform the books. Wow, perform the books we had to study for vestibular. Never gonna forget his Machado de Assis book performances. Look at that, Tassiana. Look at that. So you remember, and many people, I can bet that if you ask many people what they think, what they thought about their literature classes, if you say, do you like studying literature? Most people, unfortunately, will say, it's kind of boring. It's kind of parado. Like, yeah, no. But, people won't have that many positive memories about it. And many teachers won't teach these things in a way that is captivating, right? That is inspiring. But your teacher would perform the stories from the books. Can you imagine that? For teenagers, for young teenagers, for kids, this is what makes the difference. And can you see from all of these experiences you're telling here, the multiple intelligences that teachers were catering for, right? They were using their own intelligences because, for example, if you're good at performing, why not doing that in class for your students, right? This teacher I had from literature too, Tassiana, she was a great storyteller. She would tell stories in a way that she could keep. And I always studied at public schools. So public schools had like 40 students in the same class. Can you imagine teaching 40 teenagers at the same time? She has a spot, a VIP spot in heaven, right? And everyone would stare at her and listen to her stories, right? This is how powerful she was, right? I was a huge fan of Bon Jovi, and at the time, all the CDs came with lyrics. Thank God, right, Fernanda? I used to listen to the songs on repeat mode. Yes, I did too. Not for John Bon Jovi, but for Alanis Morissette. I memorized all the lyrics, and that was the way to get the lyrics, right? Or you had to wait for Revista Capricho, because they always had lyrics on the last page. Okay, struggles of the 90s. Michelle, I remember I had to read books every month and I loved it. I also remember my brilliant teachers, right? So Michelle loved reading, and probably the teachers made it an interesting experience for her to read, right? So again, guys, it's not the topic. We're talking about history here, chemistry, Portuguese, English. We do have memories from all the subjects, but what do all of these teachers, what do all of these memories have in common? Start thinking about it, right? I did the same. I won't go to Lucas, forget about it. We're going to hell, straight to hell. I just remember Fê Camacho. Hello, Fê. I just remember the reason why I love English. I fell in love with John Bon Jovi. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. See, John Bon Jovi, the ESL world owes you, right? When I was 12 and later on I became an English teacher. Fê, can you imagine? Nowadays, John Bon Jovi is, oh my God, still super hot, right? And he's been out there since the 80s. He's what, like 50 something? In his late 50s, if I'm not mistaken, right? And his songs were super like hit songs in Brazil, and we would want to know how to listen to them. And most of the times, these things we wouldn't explore that so much in class with our teachers. I remember my teachers always brought songs like lyrics for us to fill in the gaps and sing together. And that was my favorite part of every English class. Every English class. I remember the lyrics. Look how important these things are. Fer here, Fernanda, both Fernandas are saying that they have great memories of music being used in class. So, do you think, like most teachers who are watching here, probably have memories related to the use of music in class? Are you using music in your classes? When you plan your classes, do you bring the songs and the lyrics and all the kinds of activities that you can create based on a song to your students? Do you use it? Do you use it, actively use it in your classes so that you can plant these memories that your students are going to have 20, 30 years from now, right? Late 50s and still something. Oh, yes, Fernanda, I agree. Right? Milka saying, my first movie in English with English subtitles was As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson, right? Look, you remember the first movie. Many teachers are talking about movies here. Do you use movies in your classes? Do you have your students? Do you teach them how to use movies to learn English? That is why I like to say here that teaching English only using the book is too poor, is too shallow. So we're talking about it, and not this like not many people are mentioning like, oh, I remember that book, I remember that page from that book, I remember that listening activity from the book, right? Think about it, guys. I used to translate Metallica songs. Wow, Tati, you're at this level. My first song was Over the Rainbow by Israel Kamakawiwole. I don't know how to read that, but I know the song. All right, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Cool. So look, music, videos, the way the teacher presented the topic, the way the teacher made it be interesting. Fica a dica. Pachi saying, my parents didn't have much money to buy many things for me, but there was no budget for books. Every 6 months, we could go to a bookshop and buy everything that I wanted. It was awesome. Yeah, Pachi, and I remember that in the 90s, it was the when CDs were a big thing, but they were not very cheap. So buying CDs was like once a month you would get, at least for me, my house, right? I would get one new CD, one per month. So you really had to go through all the lyrics all the time of that CD, right? Dogs and cats. Today I had a teacherapy with a student. I love the word, Gus. That broke up a 10-year relationship. Wow. Sometimes they just need to be heard and encouraged. That's it. And think of what Teacher Branco, Gustavo here is saying. We do have our plans, we do have our schedule, and we do have the goals that we set with our students to achieve, right? But what is the point of, okay, no, today is the day where we're going to study this thing that I planned, where you have a student, with a broken heart in class. And all the best you can do on that day is to let them speak, maybe teach a few words about it, maybe guide them to watch a video or a movie about it, or listen to some songs that will help them go through this, thing that happened to them. Why not? Right? Why not? Let me see what else. Hola, mestra. Oi, Mexico, estás de luto? Why? I don't know what happened. Please let us know. Absolutely. The first book I read and understood, good thing, Amanda. The first book I read and understood in English was Seeds of Love. It was the best sensation in the world to be able to understand it. Right? So when you're like, I know what it is, I can do it, I can use it. So look, reading a book and being able to understand it. Are you using books in your classes? Are you bringing books to your students? Books about whatever they want, whatever they like. And I don't mean like bringing a book and reading the whole book in class, but do you teach your students to appreciate books? Do you show them everything they can get from a book? And it's not about the number of books they read, but just like, look, let's find a book. I want you to buy a book online, right? And books online you can find with Kindle. You can, if you subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, you pay 16 reais a month and you can use books for free. You have a big, like millions of books for free. I mean, for the 16 a month. And a Kindle is not that expensive, so you can read in English. It's much cheaper than buying the real book, the paperback form. Or you can go to Sebos, to these thrifty stores. But have your students buy a book. Say, look, your assignment for this week is to find a book in English that you would like to read, and we're going to read it together. You're going to get through this book, even if it takes the entire year, but I'm going to show you how nice it can be. And then you plan, and then you use the story, and you use everything. Have you been doing that with your students? So many good memories. Greetings from Buenos Aires. Hello, I love your city. Buenos Aires is so beautiful. Can't wait to go back. Nowadays, I'm the result of so many fabulous teachers I had in public schools. Adri, I've always studied in public schools. I went to college at UEL, that is a public university. I took my master's at a public university. The only schools I went to that were not public were my post-graduation courses, and it was FGV and Positivo. But yeah, I do too. I had amazing teachers. I had horrible teachers too, right, guys? And we know that. We're not here to be hypocrite about it. But I'm pretty sure I have more positive memories than negative memories about school days, about teachers, about the environment. And if I had to guess here, I'm pretty sure you do too. You have more positive memories, even though the reality and the context may be a little challenging sometimes for teachers and the schools. Education, teaching, schools, they are a positive environment. They are a place for growth. Okay. Should put a place for feedback here. What do you mean, knowledge English? I have to copy the lyrics by listening to the songs, right? Why not? Why not doing that, right? Okay, let's listen, and you're going to try and write everything you understand. Let's listen to the chorus today, and then you build up. It doesn't have to be the entire song. My English teachers at school and courses used to get the lyrics of song just by hearing the songs. I would ask them to do it. Adri, I was that annoying student, I think. I would ask them to do it. And some would. Yes, I use songs a lot. Teachers really care about their students are always unforgettable. It's true. Carla saying, I remember my English teacher presented the Pina Colada song Tonus. We were 12. The school had a meeting with the parents after that. Oh my goodness, the students loved it. Check if you know the appropriateness of the lyrics you choose. Be very careful because nowadays kids love they love Ariana Grande, but Ariana Grande talks a lot of bad words. She says many things that are not for kids. Careful. Songs have always been part of my lessons. That's great, Selene. All the songs from Inglês com Música, Marisa Leite de Barros, are still in my head. I learned a lot with that show. I don't know this one. Nice to know. So look, music, guys, you're telling me a lot about music. You have to bring that to your classes. I teach business English, so I'm not sure how music would be appropriate. Absolutely appropriate. Absolutely appropriate, Fabiola. Because business English is not, first, there's no such thing as business English, right? There's English, and then you use English in that context because there's business for English teachers, there's business for farmers, there's business for dentists, there's business for engineers. So business English is like, right? Okay, you probably teach them to write emails, but not just business people have to write emails. So business involves listening, involves using expressions, involves learning pronunciation, involves knowing about the culture. So music is all of that. Of course you can. Of course you can. And it doesn't mean that like all business English, so all your students are super serious and they never have fun. It's just like, okay, grammar, vocabulary, reading. Of course not, right? I tried, and one student said, I can listen to the song at home, but not with me. But not with this class that I have here, not with this thing that I prepared here, right? Of course you can and you will. It's going to be part of your, day by day activities to listen to music, but not just listen to music, la, 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 right? There are different ways to listen to music. And that is what people sometimes don't get. Oh, I listen to music all the time. Many people listen to music all the time and they don't know a word in English. So there's listening and listening with the intention of learning. It's two different things, right? And you have to teach your students the difference. I asked my students to bring songs and create an activity for the class. Wow, Adri. That's cool. That's great. The secret to learn English is to get involved with the language. Absolutely, Nija. Absolutely. The Weekend Saved Your Tears is a good song to use in class. I don't know. I can't remember this one by just right at the tip of my mind here, Nicole. But if you're saying that, I learned a lot with the Backstreet Boys. Elina. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Five, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. All my teachers, the Spice Girls, right? Metallica's Nothing Else Matters was my first because it's slower, right? It's awesome. It's a classic. Rise and Shine by the Gladiators, such a great song to lift our spirits. Check it out. Cool. A bridge fell and train fell onto my people. Wow, Fabiola, I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow. That's horrible. Milka said, my first English book was the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket by Edgar Allan Poe. Look at that. I use short stories in class, 20 a month now for, it's 1990, right, Leticia, for Kindle Unlimited. Thousands of free short stories, classics, and students feel like they have a huge accomplishments. I always say to my students to use dictionaries instead of using those online translators. Pelo amor de Deus. Because that's how I've learned all the words, and I love dictionaries. Okay. Teaching them how to teach dictionaries. Using songs that might have found memories work amazingly. That's true. I'm having problems with my connection. Okay. I had an English teacher at school who many years later asked me what I learned with him. I had to answer the truth, almost nothing. Now I remember that he only used grammar books in class. Look at that, guys, what Milka is sharing here, right? So grammar, if you don't connect whatever structure, whatever sentence, whatever grammar form you're teaching to students' lives, if you don't make it, personalized, it doesn't have a soul. It has no essence. So every time you're planning a class, every time you are presenting your classes to someone, you're doing the talk with new students, it has to be about them. It has to be about the things they like. It has to be about these memories that they're going to have 10, 20, 30 years from now. Think of your memories. What were the things that really made you have this positive feeling towards English? How many of your students have negative feelings because the school was so hard, it was so boring, it was so uninteresting, it was so complicated. They have memories of failing, of having to memorize things that meant nothing to them. Do you think a person that has all of this inside, only these memories inside, is really going to acquire a language? Right? So we have to help them build positive emotion, positive memories about the language. And how do we do it? Luckily, English is there everywhere. It's not like, oh, you're learning Russian. It's hard to find Russian in our daily lives. It's not such a common language. It's not the language for business and entertainment. And in Brazil, we do connect a lot with the United States and England, right? So use this benefit, this advantage we have, that most movies we watch are in English. Most series we watch are in English. Most music that we listen to is in English. We do, guys, I'm not saying there isn't, but we do. Everybody probably knows U2, Coldplay, Adele. So use that in your classes. That is not less important or less professional or less serious than a book or an activity that you use that is more structured. But it always has to be. It always has to be connected to your students, what's meaningful for them, and what means something in their lives. That is why, when sometimes you think about what you're going to post, and then you post an English tip that is like porra nenhuma. It's just a tip of nothing that we can relate to. There's this phrasal verb here, and I'm never going to use this phrasal verb. What is the context? Is it my context? Does it make sense to me? Was it in a series? Is it something that a character from a series always says? So I love watching that series, and I see that phrasal verb is always there. So because I love watching that series, I need to know what that person means. That's the connection. I try to bring songs that are related to the topic that they're going to study. That's great, Marcia. Music has been my main inspiration to learn English. So same thing to me here, Fabio. I love music, and I always wanted to know more because of the songs I like to sing. I teach teenagers, and music connects a lot. I love my Spanish teacher, but I never internalized the language, just memorized conjugation. Oh my God, Nicole. Please don't be that teacher for your students, right? But the first song I remember learning in Portuguese was Me Beija na Boca, Me Ama no Chão. Vando! Oh my goodness. Okay, was it your teacher that brought that to you? Oxe, meu Deus. And got picked out of a prevalent Uruguayan accent. I wish I had been brave enough to respond bonjour with a John Wayne Texan accent. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm taking pro. Oh, great, Nachi. Great. And the results that we have been seeing from teachers who are taking pro are awesome. Not just because the course is amazing, but because it's all about teaching teachers to create classes, to plan classes and activities that are about what students need. what students need to learn, what students care about, and not about a book or just that structure that you found somewhere else, or that activity that you decided to download because, okay, it looked nice. You know, all these memories we're talking about, they have one thing in common. They touched us because of something that was meaningful to us. I remember the teacher because the way the teacher was, the way the teacher presented something, the way that thing was important for me. And not because, well, because I learned how to use the infinitive, right? Now my husband taught me that one, right? Um, I decided to give tips only when I see people making the same mistakes all the time. There you go. Your audience is making that mistake, so that's relevant for them, right? Actually, I work in a public school and I also teach private classes, but taking pro has helped me be a good teacher in public schools as well. Nachi, pro is for everyone, not just for independent teachers. It's for teachers, it's for English teachers. Actually, any language, right? I had a blip and missed out on pro. We're going to open it again. I don't have the dates for pro and BTE yet, but we're going to open it like in a month or two. We're probably that, right? People from public school sometimes feel helpless, and being that kind of person to be there for them makes me a good teacher to them as well. Absolutely, absolutely. And if we believe, you know, that education and classes in public schools are not good, we will end up perpetuating that. So if you are the teacher that brings something different to these students, they are going to say when like 10, 20 years from now, when they're asked about their memories, they're going to remember you, right? They're going to say, oh, there was Natalia. Natalia was our English teacher and she did this. And then that is how you help people trust and like, you know, learning and like being involved in education. And that is why just teaching the material, just teaching the book is not the way. You're not going to have students that will love you, that will recommend you to other people, that will believe that they're doing the best for themselves. You see, think of these memories and think of how you remember of these teachers and what you do to your students nowadays, and see if there's a connection there, right? My best teachers were those who I could realize that they were there for me, actually with me in class, interested in my learning, that I could count on them, right? And it's always, for me, Milka, it was always the teachers that could connect whatever we were learning to our real lives. So we were studying whatever there in geography. So you know that place, you know this place here, you know when you go to a place like this, when you know when you see that, right? That is why we always have to bring it to real life and stop using random examples and sentences that make no sense to us, right? Amazing to hear that pro is reaching the public schools. Yes, yes. It's for all teachers. It's for everyone. It's like a post-graduation course for teachers who took pedagogy or languages. That's it. That's it. All right, teachers. So memories are not just to be there in the past. They are to be used. They are lessons for us. They are for us to believe that whatever was important for us is probably going to be important for our students too. Trust your best memories to decide how you're going to offer your classes, how you're going to present your classes, how you're going to deliver your classes. And don't be afraid of being yourself and bringing things that really matter, that are outside of the traditional planning and the traditional materials that you've been using. These are the things that are going to make your students love English, love you, really learn, have results, recommend it to other people, and you know, all the other changes that we're going to promote here in our country and in our society. Okay, have a wonderful day. Let's have lunch now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All of you have a very, very beautiful afternoon and evening today. All right? Beijos. Bye-bye. Bye, teachers here on YouTube as well. Beijos. See you tomorrow.